Can I just ask Duncan, just to start with, is there a real problem, do you think, Duncan, with people potentially leaving the industry as a result of the shock of COVID over the last year or so, or do you think it'll eventually sort itself out?
Thank you. Good morning. I think there is a problem. There's a big issue with the support system and mechanism that's being put in place because so many of the industry are freelance. So we represent the freelancers and the businesses of the live event supply chain, and they are devastated through the loss of this. And it's not just festivals, it's the whole event sector that impacts them in the same way. I think freelancers had been forced to go and find work elsewhere for obvious reasons, and we are hearing significant issues about the loss of those staff to other industries. And in some cases, in a recent survey we did of over 2,800 people, I think something in the region of 30% of freelancers have said that they have had to leave the industry. And I think nearly 20% of those have said, nearly 20% have said they hope to come back, but they're very unsure whether they are able to at this stage because of the lack of certainty. And whatever plans people have put in place to find alternative employment gives them some short-term security. But before they can make the step back into their normal job in this industry, they need the same certainty that the events will happen and that the work will be there for them. Because if everything is cancelled, if there isn't the support or the insurance in place, then they've lost the security of their temporary job and they can't go back to it. So they can't dip in and out.
I mean, there's no doubt, Duncan, that freelancers have had a very, very tough time of it, particularly those who haven't qualified for any help at all from government schemes and the so-called excluded who've really been treated badly and missed out. But in terms of festivals, it's a structural fact, is it not, of the festival industry that it's going to rely on a lot of freelancers and contractors? Or is there any way that the industry itself could be organized in such a way as to provide a bit more employment stability to those who work in it, you know, on a pretty much career basis?
I think the structure as it stands is very freelance oriented, as you say, but I think the requirement is to look at the bigger picture of that structure, because there's an ecosystem around the events industry that actually is well structured and works very well, in the sense that the skill transfer between somebody who will be the sound engineer for the festival season will be working on corporate events, exhibitions, conferences out of festival season, or will be on other artists' touring dates in the rest of the year around that. So it's very hard to see how one integrates people into festivals alone on a more structured basis when actually their skills cross over between different areas of what is a very broad and diverse sector.
So essentially, it's almost a kind of inevitable nature of the business that you're going to rely on a lot of freelancers and contractors rather than there be employees who can get that greater level of stability from their employment. Is that what you're saying?
Very, very much so. And actually, I'd go further to say that actually the industry is very proud of the freelance structure that exists, because it works seamlessly between cross-party, cross-sector disciplines, and movement from one part of the live event sector to another works pretty seamlessly, and the gaps fill themselves. So corporate work in one season, festivals in another, gels together very well.